The Ceratosaurus, now starving, came back to play. So I decided to play as Stego for the first time in a while. Being a solo Stego, you tend to get into more fights. Today, I will teach how you too can be the average Stego player and dominate the Isle. While running towards the sanctuary and enjoying the scenery, a juvie Ceratosaurus decides to ruin the moment. Where do you think you're going? Within a few short minutes, my Stego life has ended. I'll have my revenge one day. Alrighty. Not the best start, but I decided to spawn in the swamps and give it another go. One day I'll be big enough to be a threat to even the largest Ceratosaurus. Running around in the swamp's sanctuary and eating mushrooms in the complete darkness, I grew too large for the safe haven, and so I traveled to the jungle migration zone. Having nothing to do, I filled my belly with bananas and wandered the jungle to keep up my perfect diet. Peak Stego gameplay. And I sat around for a long time. And of course, through the darkness and the rain. After a day of growth, I returned back to the swamp's migration zone. Back in the swamps, there was a Ceratosaurus contemplating if I were small enough to take on. It got awfully too close, but I told myself, if they don't attack me, I will peacefully mind my own business. I guess I wasn't starving yet. For the love of the Isle, please fix the river banding issues. Anyways, a solo raptor decided it was a good idea to fight a Stego. I'll be honest, I was curious if it would run into my tail if I was swinging in one direction. It didn't work. As your average Stego player, I was more annoyed of the lagging, more so than the raptor. I calmly made a raptor shish kebab. Delicious. GG's. After a while minding my own business, the Ceratosaurus, now starving, came back to play. With the juvie down, I was trying to move on, but the adult Ceratosaurus wouldn't let me leave peacefully. Patience is key to surviving. GG's. A tsunami hit the isle and a new migration zone had appeared. This time it was towards the highlands. Being the best navigator on the isle, I chose the safest route. Through the woods and on top of cliffs. Hello, Herreras, waiting to ambush a traveling prey. We finally made it to the highlands. I will probably never make a Stego video ever again, considering how long it took me to travel. Searching aimlessly for lines in the migration zone, the area of Foot Lake didn't have any, and so I moved on to the other side of the highlands. A small Stego invited me to its group, but I kindly declined. Being a solo Stego, carnivores are more inclined to take on a fight. That's quite a few herbivores relaxing on the dam. Hopefully they'll be alright. On the search for lines, a small Ceratosaurus decides to challenge me. that was that. The goats around probably weren't spawning. Desperate times calls for desperate measures. GG's, little one. No luck on the lines. I headed back running into other stegos that were at the dam. For some odd reason, the lines weren't spawning in. And so we turned back towards the dam. One of the stegos said maybe it'll spawn in. But I think it's just the Isle at its finest. Like all stegos over 4 tons, I body block a full-grown dino from snatching one of the herbivores, and a weird creature known as the Gallimimus. After saying our goodbyes, I walk into the fog and never return. Walking around in the pitch black, I decided it was time to call it. A walking tank is a formidable threat, but the power gap between the current roster of carnivores is far too great. Should I ever play a stego again, I believe the only fun out of playing this large apex herbivore would be nesting. Until then, goodbye stego. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I do hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please drop a like and consider subscribing, as it does help the channel grow. And as always, have a nice day or night wherever you're from. Bye-bye!